Hey guys, so this will make you rethink everything. This manifesting hack. The TikTok format is really good format. The only thing is, you can't you can't resave these lives, or I mean, you can save these lives, but you can't upload them back to TikTok. So I save them and I upload them to my other content, like YouTube, etc. So you guys could go rewatch them, and then you could relearn everything. So hopefully TikTok will change it where they'll actually be able to, you can rewatch your lives. That will help a lot of you guys. All right. So, all right. Here is something that I want to talk about today that will help you. There's 4 objectives I like to meet when I do content. There's 4 agendas I have. Everybody has agenda. Well, 3 agendas. And they are to motivate, number 1, to inspire, number 2, and number 3, to expand your thinking and awareness. I guess you could say expand your thinking and awareness is 4. So there's always 4 things. So I'm quite transparent when I talk to you guys and stuff I put out to you guys. Some stuff is personal. You don't tell too much personal stuff, but some stuff, you feel like you have to help you guys. So in this live, I'm going to put forward to you a technique or something about your mind that you can use right now. It's very, very powerful, and I encourage you to only use it for good. So if you know anything about me, I'm into quantum physics, quantum mechanics, subconscious mind, and you know that I won the lottery quite a few times using that system of quantum physics in my subconscious mind. And here's the book. So you guys have been asking for it. Now you have the paperback copy. It's finally out. How to Win the Lottery Using Quantum Physics. You can go get it on Amazon. You can get it on audiobook is out there on Audible. There it is. So you can visit the website and you can get that book, which is very, very helpful to help you. Now, here's something I want you to understand. In order for you to have an effect on reality, your field, you have to become an optimist. If you want to get your subconscious mind, if you want your reality to change, what book was that? Here it is. It's my book. It's my story about how I won the lottery multiple times and other stuff you could use. How to win the lottery. But this is just, this is beyond the lottery, though. The lottery is just an instant point of it, but it's a bigger picture about life and how you can use the same system for anything you want to create in your life. Love, health, money, success, all that stuff. You can do that. Are you Jamaican? Yes, I am Jamaican descent. Yes, my parents West Indies. All right. So back to what I was saying now. You have to become an optimist. So people talk about religion and say, man, what's your religion? You know what my religion is? Optimist. I'm an optimist. It's very crucial for you to be an optimist, man. I mean, just people might say this guy's preaching and stuff. I can't stress enough how you have to see the glass half full instead of half empty. Because, let's go into the physics of stuff, right? All this stuff around you guys, what you call material stuff, there's no such thing as material. Everything is it's actually immaterial. It's just that our brains do a very good job of painting a picture that makes sense to our structure of the world. So, in other words, you can literally manipulate your reality through your mind, and the mind operates through your subconscious. And let me go into the example of this technique that I want to share with you of how you can do this. And I'm going to teach you how to do this right now. I'm actually going to show you how you can influence people subconsciously right now to get them to do something for you or something that happened, or you can influence someone right now. Literally. You can have them calling you, searching you out, anything. You can influence people to help you, to do things, but this has to be done. You have to have a neutral mindset. That means you can't do this technique with ill-begotten feelings of jealousy, anger, or I'm going to get you. It's not going to work because there's too much emotion there. It's going to create a lot of resistance. So you have to be someone who can master being what? In the flow. So that means if you try to do this to get somebody back for bad, it's most likely it won't work because you're going to put too much emotion behind it. But if you're doing it from a neutral state, if you could develop a neutrality and influence this person, it will work. So I'll give you my example of how this stuff work. And again, it's to what? Motivate, inspire, and expand your mind and your awareness. All right. So here's the story. All right. So about now 2 years ago, I had a student and I was coaching her. And she came to me. She had issues with our subconscious, basically believing she's worthy and etc. and low confidence, etc. So we worked together, and I helped her, and she started to make good progress. And then she got into what is it called the Forex thing there, Forex trading, and then she started doing really, really good at it. And so over months, she came to me and said, Mark, you should open a Forex. I'll teach you how to trade it. And at that time I just didn't have the time. I got so much stuff. So I said I couldn't do it. And I said to her, why don't I just you open an account for us, and then I'll just give you the money and you'll trade for us and da-da-da. And at first she didn't do it because she was saying basically, you can't do that with clients, da-da-da. But because, we've been friends and I've been coaching her, she said, all right, I'll create a separate account for us. Is this like the law of attraction? Yes. It's like the law of attraction is a force. It's the universe. Is it mine? So I said, all right, yeah, let's do it. So, okay, I started to invest. So I gave her $5,000. I think, it was $5,000 and to do the Forex thing. So I invested that and she created an account, and then she started to trade everything. Like she was trading it. And then every month she would report back to me and she said, look, Mark, we made this X amount. Do you want to withdraw? And I was like, no. I was like, basically, let's just keep it going until it reaches a substantial amount where I can take a substantial withdrawal. So a few months, it got a substantial amount. So I took some withdrawals. I was like, okay, this is working good. So we continued to do it again. And she continued to trade. And then all of a sudden, a point came, she just disappeared. I don't know where she went. She just disappeared off the map. And I was like, wow, what happened? So I would text her on WhatsApp. And I was like, hey, da-da-da. Nothing. And with the WhatsApp and the messaging thing, you can tell when somebody reads the message, right? Because you see the little checks. So I know she was reading the messages. And I was like, man, what is she doing? So anyway, I was like, being an optimist, that's what I'm showing you. I was like, well, you know what? Maybe she needs the money more than I do. Okay, so maybe something happened, it was good. So I left it like that. And a couple months later, I retexted her again, and I see she was reading the messages, but she wasn't replying. So I let it go, and then I started with the subconscious technique that I'm going to show you. So I was in a place of neutrality. So what I basically did was I connected with her subconsciously. And so Alicia said, yes, I got Forex scam. See, that's the thing. To me, my mind would have been like, you got scammed, because I knew this person. But I approached it from a different point. I was more optimistic. So it's not like I get scammed. I wasn't like I got scammed. It was like, okay, something happened, because it's not like her to do this, because she's previously withdrew the account money for me. So I knew it had to be something else. But again, your ego says, well, why isn't she responding? She's reading your messages. Anyway, I kept on the track. So I just went into the technique that I did. So basically what I did, I would just meditate, and I would talk to her subconsciously. And I would just say something like this. I'd say, your dreams are talking to you. That's what I did subconsciously. And then I said, well, you regretted what you did and you want to make amends. That was it. I just kept doing that every now and then. I was in a state of neutrality. I didn't have any ill feeling. I'm like, damn, you scammed me. Something bad gonna happen to you. you can't do it like that because there's too much emotions there, and that emotion is going to create a lot of resistance. So the key to get to the field or influence or just the collective is less resistance. We're constantly surrounded by resistance. Resistance is basically fear, doubt, worry, negative energy, feelings of insecurity, all this negative stuff is created through your ego and a lot through your subconscious mind. So anyway, I did that, and so this happened 2 years ago, right? Roughly 2 years ago. So guess what happened last week? Now keep in mind, also I forgot to mention, this person, I blocked them from all my social media stuff, like my Facebook manifesting group, even WhatsApp. So if you think about it, if I blocked you, you have to really be searching or needing me or finding me. And she was really searching to find me. And I got a text out of nowhere on my phone, and I was like, who's this? And I seen the name. I was like, dang, that's the other thing. I forgot to block her from my phone. But she went and found my number. So that means she was probably looking for me on WhatsApp. See, I was blocked. She was probably looking for me on Facebook. See, I blocked her. So this person needed to contact me. All right. So anyway, she texted me. She was like, Mark, how's everything going? I had a dream about you. Now, remember I said to you, when I connect with people, I said, your dreams are talking to you. In the dream, basically, she had said that, I seen you in clear, you were surrounded by clear blue water. There was 3 white doves around you. I just needed to talk to you. How are you doing? So I said, I'm doing good, and I reminded her, I said, by the way, you still owe me X and X amount of $1,000 from our thing. And then she responded back and she said, yeah, I do. I was going through so much. I had emotional stuff, with the pandemic and everything. And I couldn't understand that. And she went into a little state of depression. And she said, I'm back now and I'm ready to pay you. And I've been thinking about it for a while. And something just kept telling me I have to contact you and pay you. Okay? All right. Now, she did that. And then she asked me what was the meaning of the dream. And ironically, the meaning of the dream is this, see? So when you see a dream, if anything with water, like especially if the water is clear blue and it's still, so that dream ironically meant settlement. She had an old settlement she had to take care of, which is me. And the doves and the white doves in the dream always represents protection and security. So doves around is a signal of peace and security. So yeah. So she messaged me and then she says, hey, can we meet up? I'll even buy you lunch. I can do that. And we did that. And she paid me from what she did, the money that I invested. So do you see how that works? That's the power when you know how to influence the field. Now with this technique, you do it in a way of neutrality. So if you want to have someone to influence someone to help or motivate, and keep in mind now, to do this with people, it's someone you have to kind of already have a connection with. It's someone you have to know or kind of, you can't really do it with like complete strangers because you haven't had experience with them. So, well, technically you can, but you have to do it in a more open manner. Right? So, were you a life coach? I guess that's what you call it, life coach, mentor, teacher, yeah. So you can do this too, guys. You can influence anybody and you can influence the field, because the one thing you have to understand, we're all connected as a collective subconscious. So look, you have these parts of your mind, right? So you have your, what you call your conscious mind, right? That's your regular thinking mind. Then you have the critical divide of the mind. That's between the conscious, and then you have the subconscious, the 3. And then you have another mind, it's called the superconscious. And let's talk about the superconscious. So the superconscious is the mind of all the collective consciousness of every single being. So the superconscious contains all knowledge and information of everything you ever want. So when how do you know when you tap into superconscious? So some examples of you tapping into superconscious is when you get like aha moments, brilliant ideas, things to do to create businesses, knowledge, more high knowledge. That means you're into the superconscious mind, right? And then you go above the superconscious, then you have your higher self, which is your authentic self that communicates to you through your subconscious mind. Is this technique similar to subliminal thoughts? No, this is very different than subliminal thoughts, because what you're doing here, you are interacting with a person, but you're doing it. And this, what makes this work, you cannot be emotional. If you're emotional, it's not going to work. Emotional means if you're taking this thing personal, or you're taking this thing too serious, it ain't gonna work. See, with me, look, when I did this, it wasn't personal to me. See that? I wasn't like, notice how I did it. At first I was like, hey, maybe she needed money more than I did. And I was just on more of a neutral point. And I just said, you know what? Since she wouldn't do this, I mean, I'm sure she regretted doing this and she's looking to make an amends. And I just said her dreams are talking to her. When I said her dreams are talking to her, that's me now telling the subconscious to give her a message to let her know, hey, you need to settle your affairs with Mark. Okay? So this is very powerful. So when you think about that, on a deeper aspect of that, like, it just shows you that the world isn't what they made you believe it is. You know, in the world of the Matrix, they want to make it seem like you're separate, like everything is separate from you, and you need to depend or someone else to. So it's not like that, guys. Everything is connected. You are connected to everything. Not only you're connected to people, but you're connected to things, like what I call inanimate things. You're connected to like your goals and your dreams. You're connected to your car, to the phone, to the rock. They're all, anything you want. And I know that. Then we go farther now, go into the multiverse. You're connected to the stars, the planets, the energy, and then if there are other intelligent beings and creatures and all entities and spiritual stuff, you're connected to all of that. Not only you're connected to it, you can get information and guidance from it. Your podcast is the best. Thanks, God. Thank you. Podcast, by the way, is called the Quantum Chosen One Podcast. You can get that up, find that on YouTube. So, see how that works. So with her, and even though it took 2 years, see, with me, it doesn't matter. And the next thing you gotta understand about this, guys, is the time concept. See, for me, there was no time. I'm telling you the story now, and I use the 2 years just to show you. But I want to show you something clear. That when it comes to your mind creating and doing stuff, time is irrelevant. So, you know, what goes around, you ever hear that saying, will come back around. No matter however long or whatever time. But you can actually take charge and like influence people. So you can help people. You can even send healing energy to people. See that? So it's not only you can do that, but you can also talk to people subconsciously to help them. So if someone says, oh man, I don't feel too good, I'm feeling sick or down, you can send positive energy to that person, right? You can give them healing energy and they'll feel better, because again, we're all tied as a collective, as a collective unit, or what we call a collective soul, right? So that's very important for you to understand. So that's just how powerful your subconscious is. So if you think about this on a deeper level, what do you get? You start to think about it on a deeper level. Well, the deeper level is that you have to understand that your mind is severely more powerful than you realize. That you are right now talking and affecting stuff that you're not even aware of. Because at every given moment, you are communicating to the universe. You are communicating with so much different parts of your body right now. You're communicating with so much emotions that you're not even aware of right now. You are like a walking tower of communication. You're talking to people. You're talking to all these type of things. You're talking to you're out there right now. So, what is the secret for me to master this? The secret is this. create less resistance, you're going to get more abundance. Repeat that again. The manifesting hack or whatever is the name of the game is to create as less resistance as possible. The less resistance you're going to have, the more stuff you're going to get in your life, like good stuff. So we talk about what resistance is, right? So let me talk again what resistance is so you can really get it. Resistance is the following. It's fear. It's doubt. It's worry. It's low self-esteem. It's jealousy. It's hatred. It's self-comparison. Those are resistance. So think about it. Why is there so much resistance in our world? Well, if you think about it, look around at your world. Look around at what you're watching. Look around how they set it up. Everything in your world is set up to heighten fear, doubt, worry, jealousy, hatred, low self-esteem, self-comparison. That's the matrix. It's all set up like that. No wonder it's so hard for so much people to reach their goals because they're constantly being hit with resistance. Now, you may be saying, yeah, but what is this guy talking about? It's always been like that. I am aware of that stuff. I see it every day, but I'm not going to let it affect me. Well, my friend, what you don't know is this. Remember those minds you have? You have the conscious. That's the one that says, my friend, I know what's happening here. I'm aware of all this stuff. I see it every day, man. That's not going to affect me because I'm not going to just go there. No, you're missing the big point here. It's not you. It's your subconscious. Your subconscious is constantly open. And it's if you're being bombarded every day with all this resistance, your subconscious is eating it up like it's a soup. It's soup. And when the subconscious eats it up, it builds a map of reality in your consciousness. So now that becomes your way of life. You start to exhibit the same things that you said that couldn't affect you. And you don't even know how you don't even know how it's happening, but you're just like, man, all of a sudden. So you have to understand that you have a powerful part of your mind, and you have to be able to nurture it and protect it, because it can make you successful or it can make you very miserable. It can make you very confident and happy. It can make you very depressed and alone. And it's all about what it's being fed, what's being programmed to you. Programming. So, Mark, all right, so Mark, all this stuff, so how do I fix it, man? You know, what can I do? Is there something I can do to fix it? I mean, I don't want to do like crazy. Do I have to go like constantly, what is it, hypnotherapist? Do I have to constantly like change? Do I have to go live in the woods and be a hermit and cut off society and all that stuff to enjoy my life? No, you don't. Here's what you got to do, though. It's very simple. And I said this before. You have to become an optimist. By becoming an optimist, you'll start to change the program in your subconscious. That's the first step, man. Optimist. Someone that sees the glass half full. Someone that always sees the good outlook. Remember, I'll go back to my story. This individual, when I didn't hear from her, I could have easily went into like, screw you, F her, da-da-da. None of that happened. What happened? I went into my optimist mode. Hey, man, she needed it more than you, bro. That changed my vibration. That's the only thing I could say. I could say step. Because I didn't want to create that reality. So I said, you know what? She needed more than me. And that created released that resistance right there. And then when you don't have the resistance now, you're neutral now. When you're neutral, you can create so much more in your life. Right? See how it works? Happy, who's this? Happy Pretty. How to heal subconscious from past trauma. That's a good question, right? So, all right. So let me give you some tips on the subconscious here. So remember now, the subconscious talks to you through what? emotions. So it's going to be through your body. So the tip is, if you want to heal from past trauma, you have to listen and feel the trauma first. You got to face your demons. You got to face the fear. If you're going to overcome the fear or release those demons, you got to face them. So what do you do to release past trauma? You feel the trauma, right? Now, once you experience the trauma, you give the trauma a new meaning. You're going to change the identity of the emotion. And this works because in your subconscious mind, it's not a thinking mind. It's like a kid. It can't understand. It can't process like your regular mind. So it's like a gullible. It's going to be like, okay, so let's say you had a trauma in your life where you were abused or you were, say, bullied and you lost your confidence. So what you do is you go revisit that trauma. And when you revisit the trauma, all that feeling is going to come back up, right? But when the feeling come back up, now you're going to change the identity or the perception or the memory of that trauma. So you're going to remember it different now. So you're going to remember like, okay, I've been bullied. So you're going to change it. You're going to say, well, you know what? I wasn't really bullied. I was being tested. This was making me a better or tougher person. Okay? I wasn't really being abused because the person I was doing is, they didn't know any better. They thought they were helping me. Or this was, so you got to change the trauma to something as a teaching or beneficial moment for you. That's the only way, because your subconscious is associates stuff with feelings and emotions. So if you do that, the emotional map is going to change. So the next time now that trauma comes up, you're going to notice something happening. You're going to be like, whoa, when I remember that, I used to feel this, but I remember it now from the new way. I'm thinking of it like an experience or something to help me. And the feelings change. Congratulations. You've just remapped your subconscious. Now you'll be able to move on. See, now when you do that, now what happens? A new filter of reality opens for you now. Because the things that you were blocking out that could help you, you blocked it out because you feared the trauma. Now the subconscious recognizes that, oh, this is not a trauma anymore. This is a teaching moment now. You create exactly, who's this here? Jacqueline 164. Yeah, you create new pathways. Absolutely correct. Your brain now opens up a new field of the world that you've never seen before. It means new opportunities, new things will come into your life, new situations. That's the big secret. So I just gave you guys like $1 million tip right there, where you don't have to go to a therapist or a psychoanalyst and pay them hundreds of dollars a session to change your own emotional. You can become your own therapist right there. There's that because that's what they're going to do, and that's what they're going to tell you to do. So now you know how to change emotional trauma, and this works for anything. Relationships. The first step is you have to bring up the trauma. Number one, you have to face it. You have to recognize it. You have to remember it. And once you get that feeling, you have to remap it and give it a new meaning. Well, someone say, well, man, that's lying to my mind. I mean, this happened this way, but I remember it that way. Well, let me show you something very important that you need to know. Memories, no matter if they're good or bad. For example, I could have a bad memory, and I remember exactly bad. But if I go into my mind and I change that bad memory to something good, did you know that my mind will accept that new memory and erase the old bad memory? So it's like that new memory happened. That's because your body and the mind doesn't know the difference between what is real or imagined. You want to talk about memory now? Half of all your memories that you remember aren't even accurate. You remember in a certain way because over time the brain actually tricks and lies to us. It put pieces into our memories to make us feel better or to fulfill something that it's missing. So even the stuff you remember, and say, I remember it this way, you probably only remember 65% of it. The other percent was made up and filled in gaps by your brain. Neuroscientists have studied this. So I could go back into my memory and the stuff I remember as a kid, that means about almost half of the stuff I remember was pieced together by my own brain. Our brains fills in and out stuff. That's right, Jacqueline. So it doesn't matter what your emotion. If you remember it as a negative thing, you can go back and change the memory to a positive, and your brain will believe that if you do it over and over. The only problem you got to do is get your ego out of the way, because your ego is the one that will tell you, what are you doing? It didn't happen that way. Stop. You got to get that out. Once you get that out, you can go change any memory to something good, positive. Your brain will remember it. It will hold it. Your subconscious will accept it. The emotions will change, and your life will change. Now, here's something important to understand. We decode the world with our body first. If you didn't know that. You don't decode the world with your mind. You decode the first line of defense, or the first line of anything you're going to manifest, is your body's going to tell you first. In other words, you're going to feel something. Your body will communicate to you, and then the mind gets it. So the emotions are very crucial in this matter. Okay? So if I go into have a traumatic experience and I change the memory, that means the body emotions will change as well, because the subconscious controls my body. So if my body changes to something that meant empower and feel good, what else changes? My vibration. The vibration is the electromagnetic signals that your cells put out into the field, or the universe, the quantum field. And with this field of information, it creates this. See, things vibrate and they start coming into your thing, and they boop, and you get situations and circumstances. That's how it works. But many people are scared to face their memories. They repress them. They're scared to face their demons. They're scared to face their fears. Until you can go face your fear and face your demons, you're not going to get the result. See how that works? You got to remember. Well, I don't know if you don't have to remember, but you have to realize like how this stuff works. And I'm going to teach you right. I'm going to show you how stuff works right now. First lesson is this. Let's talk about concept of time. You remember stuff. First of all, memory. There is no precise location in your brain where memory is stored. I repeat that. They cannot find any location in the brain where memories come from. Got the frontal core lobes, cerebellum, visionary cortex, amygdala, all part of your brain, man. Hippocampus. It's not stored in the hippocampus. Memory actually has no precise location in your brain. So what does that mean? It literally means your memories are hollow in nature. Your memories are holographic in nature. So where do memories come from, Mark, if it's not in the brain? Memories are stored in your heart. Your heart has an electrical field 6 feet from you. So every time you walk, you have a 6 field radius of a magnetic field. Your memories are stored there. That's the first lesson you got to know. The next lesson is concept of time. So you and I, we see life from beginning, middle to end. We see life from past, future, blah, blah, blah. Okay? BS. Quantum physics, time is stacked on each other. Everything is happening right now. All timelines are stacked on each other like this. There is no past and there is no future. So not only the timelines are stacked on each other like this, but they are infinite. So there's a timeline with you being this. There's a timeline with you being that. There's a timeline of every circumstance and event that you can think about. There's a timeline with you being rich, timeline with you being successful, timeline with you being broke, timeline with you being poor, timeline with you being confident, timeline with you having the love of your life, timeline with you a homeless guy, any situation, there is a timeline stacked like that. This is according to quantum theory. And in quantum theory, you can test it. You can use mathematics, and then you can use quantum particles, electrons, and you can spin them and you can send them, and we can see how they react, and that's how we think. Because at the subatomic level, all of us, everything in this world, the ingredients to life is subatomic particles. Subatomic particles become your cells. They become molecules. They become your cells. They become tissues. They become bone. They become your brain. They become you, and then you have awareness and consciousness. That's the second thing you need to know. So, what else? The third thing you need to know is within these timelines, you can actually shift into a timeline to experience the best version of yourself, because they're all stacked on each other. Or you can shift into a timeline to experience the worst of yourself, because again, every infinite possibility exists. So what do you think most people do? What kind of timeline do you think most people experience? They experience a timeline they don't want. They experience a lot of stress, doubt, worry, all the bad, negative stuff. That's a timeline the majority of people experience. So why do the majority of people experience these timelines? Because of what they've been programmed with growing up. Remember those resistance? The resistance, right? The resistance powers: fear, doubt, worry, jealousy, hate, envy, self-comparison, low self-esteem. Your world is constantly pumping that out to you every single day, man. You see that on your social media feed. You see that in your music. Every day it's one of those things. They're showing you off. Like this person, that you gotta be like that. Da 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 da. So that's what you're gonna experience with your timeline. And they are not doing this to your conscious mind. It's all going to your subconscious mind. What books do you read? My book. Here's my book I wrote. I have 2 books. Manifest It with Quantum Physics. And then this is my book with the lottery, how to win the lottery. And it talks about everything I'm talking about here. And this is including the lottery, how to use physics and structure of reality to change your life. So, I can't do links on TikTok, but you can go to like my YouTube and you can find it. So look, here's what you need to know about this now. So within these timelines, there's infinite possibilities, right? But you, the person, you're being like right now, the way you're composed of particles, your particles aren't infinite, right? In other words, make an example. It's like having a deck of cards. So if I have a deck of cards and I continue to shuffle the cards for long enough time, I'm going to repeat every single deck. That means you are going to be a repeating person infinitely. So that means there's infinite copies of you, because the universe is infinite. And there's a common law of infinity and particles. Everything must repeat. So there's going to be an infinite copy of you. That's how you're able to be in these different timelines. People call it quantum jumping. What is it called? Your future self. But you are literally every single second or nanosecond, you're walking through a timeline right now. What is it? This video has been going on, this live for like 35 minutes. You've done hundreds of thousands of quantum shifts, timeline shifts right now. Doing this little live. Throughout the day, you're doing probably millions of shifts of timelines. You're not even aware of it. You're constantly in and out of reality. Like this. You're vibrating in and out. Because the particles in you, they vibrate, they go in and out of space. You're constantly going in and out of space. You're going in different dimensions. That's the next thing you need to know. What's the next thing you need to know? Okay, the next thing you need to know is about your beliefs. About negative and positive beliefs. You can ask a question, yes. Here's the thing about beliefs. A negative belief is the greatest trickster of you. See, the thing about a negative belief is it doesn't want you to see a positive belief. A negative belief will use illusions and use your own ego. That's why it's a negative belief. It wants to stay. So if you understand what I'm saying to you, is a belief is that just what it is. It's a thought. It's an illusion. Until you accept it, the illusion turns into something you can experience. A positive belief now, you never have to fight a positive belief because it's who you are. But you have to fight a negative belief because the negative belief doesn't want to leave you. That's a lesson about your beliefs. What else you need to know about how this stuff works, life and everything works? Thoughts. Thoughts come in and out of your life every single moment. Did you know that the majority of the thoughts aren't even your thoughts? They are other thoughts that we pick up subconsciously. Did you know that? Also, your thoughts are nothing until you empower them. Let me repeat that. All thoughts are nothing until the observer empowers the thought. So what do you mean, Mark? You empower the thought by becoming aware of it and accepting it by attaching to it emotions or feelings. Whenever you attach emotions or feelings, now that thought becomes a definite thing. Now that thought can become a reality. Let me repeat that because this is so important. Other people understand this. Thoughts in general are nothing. They're like the wind. Positive and negative thoughts. Until you give them power. So if you're smart, you'll understand, okay, so this guy's just teaching me or telling me that the only thoughts I should really pay attention to are the good thoughts. Because that's what I want. The negative thoughts, I should ignore them. I should let them pass. I shouldn't attach any feelings or emotions to them. See how that works? The next thing you need to know, you create through electrochemical signals by the way of electricity and magnetism. Everything in your world is either electric or magnetic. It has a charge. And that's what thoughts are. Your thoughts, once you empower something, you give it life. You electrify it. You empower a thought. So you have to understand that when a negative thought comes in your head, don't fall for it, man. You can't fall for the thought. You see how that works? I don't think a lot of people understand that. People think that their thoughts are them. You aren't your thoughts. You're not your thoughts, man. The next thing that you need to know that people don't understand is you are not your body. The body and the mind are two different things. They may interact, but they're totally separate. You are not your body. Your body is a complex machinery of evolutionary process. I'll give an example right now. You cannot control your own heart rate. You cannot control homeostasis. That's when the body is in its natural state of feeling good. You cannot digest your own food. You can't do any of that. Your body will do that regardless. You can influence the body. You can't stop your cells from dying. You can't stop yourself from dying. You can't live forever. The body's going to break down over time. You can replenish the body. The body is a natural thing. So, okay, what's the point here, man? The point is here, some people get too attached to their body and try to control it. And it creates resistance and it makes it even worse. You have to be in flow with your body. You have to understand how the body works and work in harmony with the body. See how that works? Your body is going to do its own thing what it was programmed to do. Okay. Someone will say, and someone said this to me before. Say, but I am controlling. I am my body. I control my body because when I'm hungry, I go eat. No. What you're doing, you're reacting to the body. That's different. The body gets hungry, the body sends a signal, and you go feed it. So everything you do is an effect by a cause. It's your body telling you what to do. Your body says this, that. So it's not like you can go and do that, because if you were the body, you can do everything. I can say you can control your own digestion, you can control your own heart rate, you control your own breathing, metabolic states, homeostasis, all run the functions in your body, the cell production, all that stuff. You don't do any of that. That's on automatic pilot, man. The main point of this is to just show you that you have to become in harmony. Yes, it's like surfing, right? Yeah, the waves are gonna go. You can't control the waves, man. You gotta go with the waves. But you can, like, when you're on the waves, you can like twist and turn it a little bit, right? So, you know, people, that's why you can heal your body, because you can talk to your cells. But eventually your body's going to decay over time. It's just going to happen. It's called entropy, right? So if you understand this, you'll become in more harmony with your body. Your body will actually last longer. You'll become even more healthier by understanding, like, okay, I just got to be in harmony. I got to complement my body. I got to understand that the mind and the body are two different things, but they can coexist together. But the body's going to do its own thing, and the mind got to do its own thing. See what I'm showing you? These are things that you got to learn if you're going to master life. That you're not going to find in the matrix. Some of you probably even, maybe some of you is the first time hearing this stuff or learning this stuff, right? The next thing that I think is really important that you got to know. So we talk about mind, we talk about body, we talk about reality, right? Talk about the thoughts, talk about emotional stuff, and all that stuff. The next thing now you have to know now is how things come into your world. So I'll take time for a question here. Do you control your thoughts, or does your thoughts control you? Well, let's go back to what I said earlier. So all thoughts are like the wind. You empower a thought by giving it emotion. So your thoughts don't control you. You control your thoughts, because anything has to, you have to. And this is a good question, because it leads me up to the next point. For anything to come into your life, you, my friend, have to give it permission. Someone says cosmic millennium. Yes, our awareness exists in a field of infinite potentials, which we choose based upon where we focus. That's correct. That's the quantum field. That's a unified field. That's quantum physics and basics awareness. Anything that you experience in your life, you have to give it permission to come into your life. What is this guy talking about here? I give permission. So do I give permission for sickness and the bad stuff I'm going through? You're telling me I gave myself permission? Not entirely, but you got an effect on it. Everything that comes into your life, guys, you give permission, not in your conscious mind, but in your subconscious mind, the part you can't see. And most everything. The amount of money you make, the amount of friends you have, the amount of confidence you have, the ability for you to be your best, all that is based on you telling the universe or the world what you think you feel or you deserve. So it leads me to the next truth. Nothing ever comes to you. Everything must come through you. You are the observer, the star, the creator of your world. Oh, so you're telling me I'm like a god, man? Yeah. Yeah. Through quantum physics, through neuroscience, through how the brain and the mind works, we see that you control everything around you based by your awareness, your feelings, your emotions, and your subconscious. So therefore, you can attract anything you want, because everything exists in two levels of frequencies. There's the high and the low. That's how it works. So if you're someone that's trying to do something, it's not going to happen. When you try, you've already failed. Trying to the mind is like, oh, I can't do it, I'm done. But if you just do it, repeat it, and do it, you'll get it. So let's go back to this, because this is a very powerful truth here that people don't understand how this stuff works, man. So a lot of people think they get stuff to them. So what does this guy mean by, okay, stuff come through me? What is this guy talking about? Like, what does he mean? In simplistic terms, it means You will only get or achieve in life what you think and feel you deserve. Point blank. No matter what your situation is right now. Can you be hypnotized? Question here is, can you be hypnotized for a higher mind set to win the lottery? Yes, you can. You can program your subconscious to become more abundant, to become more observant, to get more money. You can do all of that. There's lottery subliminals. My channel has a lot of my subliminals on there. I attribute to when I win in the lottery, a lot of it is to subliminals that I use to program my subconscious to be in the right place at the right time. I'll say, I'll put a side note when it comes to like lottery or just anything success. The key is this: everything you're going to get in life, it's all about being in the right place at the right time. The odds don't exist. When people win, they win because they're in the right place at the right time. People try to win, you're not going to work. Trying is not going to work. Your focus is, I got to be in the right place at the right time. And that can only be done from a paranormal level. When I mean paranormal, it means an extrasensory level. A part that your conscious mind can't control. It has to come from an intuition, a higher self, a higher version that guides you and puts you in a place to be successful. All right? So let's go back to the body part now and what it is. So, all right, man. So how can I get my body? How can I get things to come through me then, Mark? What's the best thing for me to do? Because you just told me that things don't come to me, that everything that I get in my life is because of what I deserve and feel. So, Mark, what's the secret, man? How can I change my life right now, man? How can I become a better version? If I want to make more money, I want to be more happy, I want to be more spiritual, I want to develop all these things. What's the secret, bro? Can you help me here? Can you show me how to do this, man? Certainly, I certainly will give you some secret tips right now. It's very simple. The first secret tip is you have to change your mindset and you have to become an optimist. You have to start to see what's the best possible stuff that could come to me every day. And by being an optimist, and this goes into someone's comment here, self-love, you start to develop that self-love. And the next thing now, you got to start to surround your mind now with things that are always moving you towards your goals. You got to watch things, meditate on things, visualize things, speak things that are in resonance with what you want to create in your life. That will continue to bombard your subconscious. Your subconscious now will start to have a new image. You got to use subliminals. You got to self-hypnotize. You got to do all this stuff. You got to just... And then the subconscious will form what's called a map of reality. So the old stuff that was in there, that gets replaced with the new stuff. And now when the subconscious has a new map of reality, which basically means a new set of beliefs of optimism, positivity, self-love, deserving, confident, then the whole game changed for you. Your whole game literally changed. Because now you'll start to act. People say talk the talk, walk the walk. There don't talk the talk, you're walking the walk. Everything is done through action. Talking don't work, action works. You're going to do the action. And the subconscious, that's what it's master. It's master at action and habits. It's going to change your mood. If your mood changes, I'm talking about the body now, because I told you everything is electromagnetic vibrations. If my mood changes, if my awareness changes, if my outlook changes, what's going to change? My physical world going to change, because the physical world isn't physical. It's actually immaterial. It's actually composed of highly dense frequencies that vibrate so high that when I look, everything looks solid to me. So I can change my future world like this. I can bring situations, I can bring people, I can bring opportunities, I can bring knowledge, I can bring understanding. And it's all done because I've changed the map of reality within the unconscious mind, not up here. Up here can't get you anything. Up here is just made to perceive and observe what's already been programmed through your subconscious. If you want to get deeper, up here is even controlled down there, because your subconscious can influence your regular thinking mind. How does it do that, Mark? Well, your subconscious will give you feelings and emotions. These feelings and emotions, your mind will pick it up. Your mind will form a new map of reality about what these feelings. Example, I feel sad, I feel down. Subconscious mind says, I am sad, I am down. I feel happy, I feel confident. Conscious mind says, I'm happy, I'm confident. So there you go. As you can see, your subconscious controls 96% of everything. So you're not even a conscious computer or conscious creator. You're a subconscious program. Everything is written and derived through your unconscious mind. That's the secret. For people to really do this, they have to know these things. And these are just basic stuff that they don't teach you. Right? If people could have the same amount of faith within themselves as they do God, man, this is a wonderful comment right here. Who said this? Lovely light. If people could have the same amount of faith within themselves as they do God, man, that's correct. And the people don't understand that they have God in them. So that's the big thing. And I think out of all of that, I think the biggest one is to understand that there are infinite copies of all of you, and there's an infinite potential of infinite timelines that you can tap into. Okay, and the next big one I think people understand, as I said this before, I think I said this in the last live, but I really have to put this because I have to inculcate this into people because they have to understand this, man. Someone says that we are the God particle. The next big truth is, guys, the universe doesn't have a beginning or an end. I mean, they just discovered this. They discovered that the Big Bang was the transition from an older universe. It's like a part in the process. It's like a page in a book. Like you read a book, you go to the next chapter. That's how the universe is. The universe is from chapters to chapters. But think of it like this: the chapters are never ending, and there wasn't a beginning chapter. You just open a book and you're at chapter 6. There's no chapter 1 or chapter 2. It's like chapter 6 forever and ever and ever. And chapter 6, then you go to chapter 7, and then whatever, infinitely. That's how the universe is. So, think deep now. If the universe doesn't have a beginning or end, what about you? Do you have a beginning or end? Someone tell me that in the comments. Do you have a beginning and end? If the universe doesn't have a beginning or end, do you have a beginning or end? I mean, you got to remember now, you are the universe. You're made from the particles of the universe. They show up in you in all parts. You have trace minerals in you from all the planets and the stars, all that stuff. You're made of the the electromagnetic sphere, which is a part of the universe. Your consciousness is alive. It has no beginning or end. So exactly, you are internal. So when someone says death and all that stuff, death is not the end. It's just a transition. It's something else. It's a different evolution of existence, a different part. It's not the end, right? So you don't need to fear death, or that's why you have to live your life now with purpose. Live your life with passion. Do it now, right? A lot of people, they don't live, they exist. There's a difference. Living or existing. What do you want to do? What do you want to become? You want to just exist, or do you want to live? When you live, is you're experiencing your passion, your dreams, your goals, you're going for it. You're just doing it. When you exist, you have a lot of doubt, fear, you're judgmental, you're like, you don't like taking risks. You're trying to play it safe all the time, You're in your comfort zone. You're never going to grow and get to your full potential until you get out of your comfort zone. It can't happen, man. You can't just be chilling every day and just wishing and hoping. It's not going to work that way. You have to take steps towards your desires. Not even physical stuff. It's not action stuff. People think that I got to go make it happen. You don't have to make it happen, man. All you got to do, you got to set it up to make it happen. Let me repeat that. You don't have to make it happen. You just have to set it up to make it happen. What does this guy mean by set it up? It's your intention. It's your decision. It's how you think and how you feel. It's what you focus on every day. That's setting it up. The action is the last step, man. See how things are backwards? And they tell you got to take action. No, man. You got to set it up first. You got to plant it. You got to water it. What makes it grow? It's not you that make it grow. It's the process. If you put a seed in the ground and you water it, you don't control the growth of that seed or plant. The soil has a program in it that I always put into it for it to automatically grow. All I did, I just set it up. I just set up the environment. That's all I did. I just made the environment right, man. And then the universe does the rest of the work for me. And then when it's ready, I take action. What's my action? I go outside and I pick the fruit. Boom. It's an apple tree. I take the action. I go pick my apples, my pears. See? I plant it. I water it. I watch it grow. And then, oh, Mark, your tree is ready. All right, now let me get off my butt. Let me take my action. Let me go pick my... See that? What a lot of people do is they plant the tree and they try to make it grow, man. So what do? They dig up the earth. They put more stuff in it. They sit there and watch it. That's what they call action. They get up every day. They go watch it again. They come back again. They go watch it again. See, they're taking action, but it ain't leading into nothing, because that tree is going to grow when it's supposed to grow. It's going to happen in divine timing. So if you think about it, most people's actions are spent miscreating what they already messed up on. It's like they're going back over what, trying to fix what they messed up. The only action you ever take is inspired action. That's the only action you ever take when it comes to creating stuff. Now, action is crucial in creating power, but I'm showing you a big picture here that, action, the way they teach you action is all wrong, man. I don't think people understand how this stuff works, and that's what I'm showing to you. Look, everything works in a harmonious state of a flow state. Like, there's only certain things you can control. So I talk a lot about the stuff you can control. So let's talk about the stuff that you can't control. Stuff that you can't control, my friend, is the timing of it. You can't make something manifest faster or whatever it is. You can't do any of that. Everything will come to you in the divine timing that was set up to come to you. So when people say manifest fast, what they're actually teaching you is manifest a lot without resistance, so it seems like it's coming faster to you. It's just an illusion of it. So the thing you say, oh man, but Mark, I manifested that fast. You didn't. You manifested at the divine time. To you, you think it was fast. That was the exact time it was supposed to manifest. What happens is the fact that you release so much resistance, you were able to see clearer. The fact that you've seen clearer, it felt like time sped up to you because you don't have the thing that was pushing you back. But it still was going to manifest at the divine timing. So that's the one thing you can't control. You have control to manifest, to create it, but you can never control the exact timing of when it's going to happen. Just like with a seed in the tree, in the earth. The earth is going to help it. It's going to grow when it's supposed to grow. Right? So, and that's the flow state. And look, and that shows you something very important about the concept of time, man. It shows you that time in the universe. Did you know in the universe, time is really irrelevant? I showed you this before. I said there's only one time is now, and they're all stacked on each other. So time is, everything is happening all at once at the same time, all over right now. So if you can understand that, the concept of time was a man-made thing for us. So the universe doesn't exist on our terms, right? See that? So people, I think a trap with a lot of people or individuals is they really get down because they fall for the trap of time. They think like, oh, I can do it this time. You really can't, guys. Sorry. It's going to happen when it's supposed to happen from you who set it up. And the next truth is this, that you don't understand. You already set up your destiny before you got here. You've already made your movie. You're just the character that's walking and finishing the role right now. See what I'm showing you? The Matrix take you away from that. The Matrix try to make it seem like you don't have control. So you don't have really what you call like a free will thing. You have a way to attack, to get to free will. But your purpose, like every person that's here on this earth right now, every single people here right now, you have a destiny or a goal that you did yourself. But the reason you're not experiencing your full potential is because you're out of contact with your true self. You're not connected. That's all it is. And the reason you're not connected is because you've been distracted through the Matrix. You've been distracted with the powerful resistance forces they set up for you. Let me go over them again. Fear, doubt, worry, jealousy, hatred, right? low self-esteem, all the negative stuff you could think of. That's what the matrix pushes out for you, man. And that distracts you. When it distracts you, you don't have no time to even understand who you are. So everyone has a purpose. That's why when things matter, when I won the lottery, it was because that was my divine timing to win it. When I do stuff and it happens, that was my divine timing to do it. When people come into my life, that was divine timing I set up for them to do it. Everything I set up before I got here. So I know that innately. So what do? I just chill. I'm in the flow now. Because I understand that everything is going to be all right regardless, man. Because I already set up my game before I got here. I set it up already. So I just got to go with the flow. See that? When I go with the flow, I get more opportunities because I'm able to see more. I'm not distracted because I'm not into the matrix. I'm not into the fear dot. I don't buy into the stuff. I don't buy into the propaganda. I don't buy into all of that stuff. So my attention is more on what I want. See? So what I don't want, you know what happens? It fades out of my reality. Because I'm not putting any energy there. Remember, guys, we are what? Electric beings, electromagnetic beings. Your heart is powered by electricity. Your body has enough electricity to run a small battery or power something. In your cells, everything is electrochemical. I don't know if you understand that. You have an electrical system in your heart, in your body, man. Yep, there's joules of energy fired off. You don't even have reports. You ever hear of sudden human combustion? It's still a mystery. It's a rare thing, but it's called sudden human combustion, where an individual can literally blow up. Electrical field. You're a powerful electric being. So it's called sudden human combustion. Go read it. When you understand that, then you know that, okay, it's what I put my attention on. And when I put because I know that I'm putting energy, I'm putting electrochemical, electromagnetic frequency out. And I know that's the source of creation, right? So if I'm more focused on what I want, then what I don't want doesn't exist. It's in a superposition state. Means it's in all possible existence. But as far as Mark's concerned, it's not in my reality because I'm the observer, so my attention isn't on it. See how it works? But what happens is we tend to put our attention on what we don't want because it creates more of an emotional thing. So why? So someone said to me, "Well, man, why is it so hard, man? Why is it so hard to focus on the good stuff, man? Why is it so easy for me to manifest or focus on the bad stuff? You know that? It's not easy for me to focus on good stuff. I try to focus on good, but I'm always being pulled back with the negative, the worry. Mark, why does it work like that? The answer is, the reason why I work like that, because you were hardwired from birth for negativity. Look, even before you were born, right? In your mom's womb, you were getting programmed. As a fetus, your brain is processing information. So even before you pop into the world, man, your subconscious is already shot up already, messed up. Yeah, somebody called it default matrix program. So it's like you're already set up to fail before you even got in the game. It's called neuroplasticity. You're already set up from neuroplasticity. Your brain already fused. Now, there are some individuals that escape this, right? But not a lot. It's very rare people. Not every individual can have a family that's always positive. That's, everything is good in their life. When their kids come out, they instill in their kids positive values. There's some like that. So there's some people that got a little bit of it, but they still have some of it, but not a lot, guys. Majority of us, we've all been hardwired. So this is why it's so easy to manifest what you don't want rather than what you want, because your brain is already fused neuroplasticity, right? Synaptic pruning, it's already fused. So the electrical signals and the frequency fires off so much faster, which creates so much energy, which manifests more reality. So that's why it's so hard for you to focus on what you want. But you can reverse engineer it. You can fix it. But this is where it takes like a discipline, and this is where you gotta like use a willpower. This is the only time this is the only time willpower really comes in good for you. You have to deliberately force your mind to think of positive stuff. That's the only way you're gonna fix it like that. That's why being an optimist is so much the way to go, because you can literally convert your mind into seeing the glass half full. So you're gonna create a new pathway. You're gonna create a new hardwire for positive stuff to happen in your life. Since existence is collective, yep, it's downloaded. You can make the argument that it's downloaded even before you got here into the 3D world. So when you get into the 3D world, man, you gotta do some work to get to the 5D world. That's 5D world is where I mean that you're able to do these things. You're able to kind of discipline and do your thing. So one of the big tips, if you want to get your mind to work, you gotta develop the art of repetition. For someone, if you like an athlete, when an athlete becomes the best in his sport, you know what he does? He practices a lot. That's repetition. Maybe he shoots the ball. He gets up early every morning and he's like, blah, blah, blah. The guy's putting in work. You gotta do the same thing in your head with your mind. You gotta put work in your mind. Even if it don't feel right, good, and your ego's telling you, you gotta force yourself to think positive. At first, it's not gonna feel good. It's not gonna feel comfortable. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. But remember the trick, guys. The trick is your subconscious. Once you get enough pattern into it, the subconscious is gonna buy into it, and then that becomes a belief. By the way, that's how you build beliefs, by thinking a thought over and over every day, and it becomes a conviction or a belief. And then that's a subconscious way of telling you that, oh, I accept this as my new world, my new reality, right? Persistence, patience, practice. 3 P's. Yep, said that there. That's the hard part. It's better to know and be negativity. Well, I think a lot of us know this, but that's the thing. I think majority of people know, like, yeah, I gotta be positive. But you know, the next issue is this. You know what the Matrix do to you guys? They even shoot down positivity. They make people who look positive like weirdos. Oh, is that one of those type of people? So you see how the Matrix sets you up? So even though you're there, you're wanting or you're trying to do like positive stuff, then the Matrix makes fun of that stuff. Oh, positive. Get back to reality. Be realistic. Da 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 da. See how they do that? Do you think that was by accident, guys? That's by design, man. It's a design system, man. Like happiness, man. It doesn't pay to be happy. That's what they're putting out right now. Be a realist. Live in the real world. Stop living in your head. Da 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 da. But who did? This is a good question. But who designed that and for what? So let me give you the answer. Who designed that is a system of entities. Your bankers, your government, the educational system, the mainstream media. Okay, that's who designed it. And now the big question is, in what for? Simple answer is control. To control your mind, to control your habits, to control what you spend. Monetary stuff. That's how the Matrix was created. You gotta remember, the Matrix has been in the making for 300 years. So the Matrix started from little steps. The Matrix really took off in the Industrial Revolution, in the age of TV and stuff like that. And it really skyrocketed now with the age of the internet and all that stuff. But the Matrix has been 300. Actually, we could go back into Roman times. It was the blueprint. The Romans, when the Romans created Christianity, and the Romans started to form different stuff, the Vatican and all that stuff. That was the beginning blueprint of the Matrix. Capitalism, design, you know. It's just for control, man. Control. They want to control you, and to do that, we pump fear into you. The thing about fear is it makes consumers spend more money. Did you know that? It actually goes off into your brain, and you want to be. It makes, because when you go spend money and you buy something, you're gonna feel more confident. So that's why it's. I mean, it's a system that's been working for years. So, you know, my philosophy is what everybody is doing, I do the opposite. That's my philosophy. Because I know most of it's matrix stuff. Yeah. Someone says, what if it's because someone figured out how reality works and saw that some were doing bad? What do you mean by that? As far as the matrix, what if because someone figured out how our reality works and saw that they were doing bad? Well, I mean, look, guys, people know how our reality works for hundreds of years. Your government knows how your reality works. Even your religious leaders know how your reality works, but they're not going to tell you that. I mean, you can look at the documents. You've got unreleased released CIA documents right now. The government has been spending millions of dollars in different paranormal projects of the mind and the body and all that stuff. They invest money in this. Physicists know this. The mainstream science now knows how your reality works. But just because then you know how reality works, so what? That's what they're saying. They're still going to bombard you with the negative stuff because that's going to distract you even more. You have to be an individual that kind of go into this stuff for yourself and use it for yourself. Why y'all not want to try to answer this? What's the question? Yeah. It's just the nature of the game, I guess. CERN, what's my opinion on CERN? What is that? Where they do the Large Hadron Collider? Where they do the particles and atoms and all that stuff? Well, my opinion is they're still trying to figure out the deep mysteries of the atom in the quantum world, and they're trying to figure out more stuff. I mean, that's CERN, right? I think that's CERN. Right? You're talking about something else. Yeah. 5G frequencies to make you depressed and want to send more comfort to you. So so people always talk about Mark, the 5G frequency, so 5G frequency is basically a different bandwidth of faster speeds for technology. Now there's a lot of studies out that it can affect the brain and it can definitely do things to your body where your mood changes and all that. And I believe that's possible because I mean, they're not going to tell you everything, even though they're telling you, well, the 5G doesn't affect you. We did studies and da-da-da. I mean, imagine what they could be hiding from us. I mean, the stuff they put out, guys, something you want to keep in mind here. A lot of information they put out, like let's use something like with UFOs and these extraterrestrials and how the mind and the consciousness works, right? If you go to CIAgov.com and you look at the unclassified reports, and it's going to shock you how they discovered the mind is a holographic field that influences. Those are stuff, and then remote viewing and all that stuff. Think about this. Those are stuff that they put out. Imagine the stuff that they don't put out, that they don't want you to know. And the stuff that they put out is already shocking, like, wow. So imagine what else information they could be withholding or studying from you. See that? I want you to just be, I'm doing this because I want you to spread more awareness. I want you to think. I want you to become aware. And I want you to really question and see how reality works and understand like who you are, how life works, what to do to change your life. So you always have to be someone that's looking at the big picture. You know, I always look at that. I always say, okay, man, look at all this fascinating stuff that they are putting out. Imagine the stuff that they couldn't put out. That's what you got to look at. Don't look at what they're putting out. Imagine because some of the stuff they put out is fascinating. It's life-changing. You understand the nature of reality. But I say to myself, imagine the classified stuff. You know, they actually put stuff about remote viewing where you could see stuff in real time. Does it get deeper than that? Yeah. Way deeper than that. They can't even put that stuff out right now. You see? But the big thing is you the individual, you actually have more control than you know, because you are an observer. When we move with the same good intentions, we are able to make change positively. Yep. I think now, though, I think that one of the great points that we're at in our evolutionary history right now, I think this is a great time to be here alive now, is because of the same tool that the Matrix uses is the same tool that's going to use against them, and it's information. It's the internet. There's so much more information coming out now, and they can't plug all the holes. They can't plug them because there's so many more creators, so much more conscious beings like you, so much more 5D people, so much more content about nature of reality, so much more positivity out there now, because the internet, you can't control all that stuff. So they're at a point right now where it's going to be a point now where the truth is going to really like overshadow and cast the doubt. So it's literally impossible for them to plug all the holes. So the best thing they can do is to just up the ante by creating more fear and doubt. Or it was a purposeful leak. No, it's not a purposeful leak. Because the thing about the universe is, you got to understand how it works. You know, things exist in harmony, so there have to be a balance. So as much as the Matrix is trying, it can't be unbalanced. The balance now has to be with what you call the good. Light and dark, they need each other. There have to be a balance with the light and the dark. Dark always seeks the light. Before light, it was dark. Dark created the light from the universe. Light, dark. So it's kind of a yin yang. Yes, exactly, yin yang. So there have to be a temporal balance there. So as they can't control everything, guys. It's literally impossible, because the fundamental way of how the universe is made up, there have to be an equal balance of everything, right? So that's why I doubt they are deliberately plugging, because it just can't. Yes, and that's good. Someone says here, who's this? Guess it's Slavier. Yeah, this is why life seems unfair, because of balanced phenomenon. And this is why you got to approach life and look at life as it just is, and then change your perception of things. Things don't happen like to us. Things really happen for us, guys. When you take that approach to life, and that's the positivity, and that's the optimist approach, is that you got to see to yourself. And I said this before, and you guys know and watch my stuff. You live in a universe that's designed to serve you. Like, why are things always happening for me? Things don't happen to you. When you take that approach, then you actually change physical reality. Think about that. So that means even things that you will perceive as bad will actually turn out good for you, because you're programming the universe and telling the universe that everything that happens to me is happening for me. So I'm not a victim anymore. So now the universe must balance that harmony. It must come true to that. And that's when your life will go a lot better. You have more peace, happiness, good stuff will happen. Of course, there's going to be inconsistent stuff. Like, that's just the laws of probability where things happen. But they'll be so far in between. In other words, you'll notice the big difference in your life. I always say this, the beauty of the universe, it's a self-correcting code. It always balances itself back out. So, and you can take advantage of that. Yeah, who's this? Nojer777. I came from a Catholic church. I think they have all this information beneath the Vatican. There's a lot of individuals telling me that. I had one good friend was saying to me that, yeah, the Vatican has all this information, and they keep it and they suppress it. They know everything about the truth. They create a religion to distract. They know who you are, the origins. They have all this information. That's someone was telling me so, and a lot of people are saying that. So there definitely has to, I believe there's definitely some truth to that, because you as individuals experience things in your life, and it's trippy stuff, right? And some of you experience some trippy stuff that you can't even tell people, because you think people think you're crazy or weird. But your governments have been studying this stuff for years without you even knowing it. So there's nothing wrong with you. It's just a part of life. Watch on Netflix, nothing to lose. Someone says that at Nojar77, watch on Netflix, nothing to lose. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, there's so much different outlets now. Like, you don't have to get your news from the mainstream anymore. You get the real news. You can get different content programs and creators. You know, like different Netflix, all these different independent films now. They're no longer tied to the mainstream. That's why I say the Matrix is kind of losing its grip now. What is the best way to eliminate negative thoughts? To immediately recognize it and change it to a positive thought. The best way to remove negative thoughts is to catch it. Don't let it continue. Recognize it and nip it in the butt, as they say. Because what you're doing is you're training the mind now to stop negative thoughts. The thing about the mind is constantly preening and watching you. It's observing you. So every time I get a negative thought, stop it. The mind will say, okay, wait a minute. This guy keeps stopping this. I take this as a signal that he doesn't want this. And then the mind will start to create more positive thoughts. But you have to be on it. We are on a giant spaceship hurling through space at 70 kilometers per hour. Yeah, the Earth is a spaceship. Planets, spaceship. We have an atmosphere, a very thin atmosphere here, and we are hurling through space. So yeah, that's correct. Someone give you some help here too. If the negative thoughts, you can exercise, meditate, and listen to good music. Yep. Someone asked me, do you believe it's a glitch in the Matrix when someone exits a room and forgets what they needed? That can be a glitch, or it can just be just memory loss a little bit. The glitches in the Matrix, I say, are the individuals like you guys who are aware of your mind and who are helping others and spreading the message. That's a glitch in the Matrix. The awakened ones, the chosen ones, you call them, content creators that are putting out positive stuff, things that make you think and open your mind, those are glitches in the Matrix. You are a glitch in the Matrix because you are on the level of changing your mind. Do you have any tips for empaths? One tip I could give empaths, the thing about empaths, they suck up energy a lot. Empaths, you have to find a channel to release your energy. So that means you have to make time for yourself, a lot of time for yourself, because you're going to gather so much people's energy. So you got to do time where you're going to like pamper and do self-love for yourself. That's my tip for empaths. That means you got to spend more time meditating, more time in nature, maybe more time by yourself. Associate with people, but you got to remember, empaths, you unconsciously take up a lot of energy, and some of you don't even realize it. And you have to find a day or so that way you can release or transmutate that energy. And you have to do things to release the energy. Listen to good music, hot bath, massages. For ladies, for guys, maybe just want to be more in nature, man. Meditate, do things like you can sports, exercise, that just release that tension. You gotta do, because empaths, they're very sensitive. Grounding is good. And a lot of you don't even realize that. And you pick up energies fast, man. You pick up so much people's energies fast. You don't realize it. So I could give you some tips too. I can give you tips to let you know that when you have too much negative energy from people. So if you have difficulty sleeping, if you have mood swings, okay, those are clear signs that you may have to detox because you got too much stuff going on. Those are the biggest signs right there. Difficulty sleeping, constant mood swings, different body changes, your body's acting weird. Those are signs that you may have too much energy and you need to detox. That's well said. Someone says you are not the voice in your head, you are just a listener. That's correct. You are the observer. That's exactly right. Got to remember that all thoughts are nothing. They're like the wind. A thought cannot have power without you empowering it. So think about that. All thoughts, positive and negative thoughts, when they come in, you are the one that gets to invite them into your home. You're the boss. You say stay or go. there are a lot of empaths here. I mean, in the world, there's a lot of empaths. Some of you are empaths, you don't even know you're empaths. So if you're someone that's maybe you're struggling with a lot of like low energy, difficulty sleeping, you're maybe up and down mood swings, it may be the fact that you're an empath and you haven't discovered that yet, and you don't know how to channel your energy. You depress a lot. You find yourself isolated from people a lot. Do you like to go in big crowds? If you don't like to be in big crowds, if you do go in big crowds and you feel tense or scared, most chances are you're an empath. So I know a lot of individuals like that. They get panic attacks if they be around big people. I mean, big crowd and stuff like that. And you deliberately try to stay alone. You're an empath. Now look, being an empath, guys, you shouldn't be like try to isolate yourself. It's not good. You have to interact with the collective, but you just have to know how to channel your energy or transmute the energy. Because it's not good for you to just sit at home by yourself all the time. You're going to need interaction. You're going to need other people to help and influence. What you're experiencing is the buildup of that negative energy, and it's making you feel lethargic, and it's making you feel like you don't want to go out in the world. That's the thing about empaths. Yeah, you never want to isolate yourself too much. Remember, we are social creatures. We're gonna need, whether like through connection, through social media or anything, but you gotta be social. You gotta have connection with the collective. You gotta do that. That's how you made up. Okay, I got a few minutes here, so we'll do a couple more questions. Hi, Mark. Can you discuss detachment when trying to manifest? All right. Detachment is when you manifest something, you are aware that you're manifesting it, but you also have to be aware that you don't need it. That's detachment. If you can bridge those two together, you're detached. Understand I manifested, but understand also I don't need it. Basically means I'm good with it or without it, and the universe will find something to get it to me. That's the epitome of detachment. All right. Things only grow in community is correct. Someone says that it doesn't take time, it takes alignment. That's correct. There's time is just a concept we made up. Everything is about being in the right place at the right time, the divine timing of everything. And there is such thing as divine timing. That's the point of detachment, not to consume you. And someone says it's great here that every suffering begins from attachment, which is true. That's correct. Every suffering begins from our need to validate something. My love, I manifest the number 613. Wow, good for you. 223. Hey Mark, why I play a number for 2 months and one day I forget to play the number and it came out. That happens a lot. That even happened to me before. Play a number for 2 months and one day I forget to play the number and it came out. That happens a lot. That even happened to me before. Just part of how stuff works. That all has to do with curbing our ego. That's our ego being impatient and not trusting the process. So you just wipe it off and get back up. The thing about the universe is opportunities are endless. So if you miss one, there's infinite more going to come for you guys. So it's not the end of the world. Just get back up and readjust. Yeah, me missing numbers happened to me when I first started. And I remember one point I missed a lot. It was a lot of money I missed on that number, man. But I realized that, hey, it happens. I learned from that. My ego was there, and I recognized. See, the thing about it is I recognize where you messed up and just do better next time. Because one door closes, not two more opens. One door closes, like a billion more or infinite more opens. There's no one door, two door. One door closes, two more opens. Nope. It's one door closes, billions, trillions, infinitely more open. So that's the thing you gotta get. See how it works? Good. So the main point, guys. Someone says don't cry with spilled milk. Good. The main point is you got to remember, you got to understand that you want to become an optimist. What do you mean by missing a number? He basically meant that he was playing the number, and the number came out that he was playing, and he missed the prize amount. So he was playing like 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. That number came out, and he just missed it. He missed collecting on it. That's what he mean by missing a number. How to connect with feelings, please. You connect with your feelings by just being aware of them and understanding if they're taking you towards what you want or what you don't want. Feelings that will take you to what you want are the ones you want to keep in your mind or keep around you. Feelings that don't take you where you want to go, those are the ones you want to kind of just don't invite in. Self-doubt is a struggle. Someone says that, yeah, but self-doubt can be fixed with subconscious. Let me show you something, guys. If you have any problem with your self-confidence or self-doubt, you can't fix that like consciously. It's not going to work. You have to go into your subconscious to fix that. So if you're someone who has like confidence issues, but you need to do subliminal programming, you need to do affirmations, you need to do self-hypnosis, or you need to do things to influence your subconscious, because you're not going to fix that by being aware and conscious with willpower. It's not going to work. You may cover it over, but the root cause will be there. So if you ever want to, I guess, be the best version, you have to do your subconscious work, because that's where all of that comes from, is a subconscious thing. Your confidence, your self-worth, all of that is not a conscious thing. It's all a subconscious. It's an emotional thing. I used to have desperation, but now I struggle through feeling it. Now look, everyone's going to get down sometime. That's natural. But I'm speaking about if you're someone you constantly just, you just know that, man, I just can't get it. Something's wrong. I just don't feel it. I'm not confident. Even though I look confident, people say I'm confident, I'm not feeling it. That's your subconscious. You want to get in there. That means you have some type of block, emotional thing that happened from a childhood days or when you were a kid that you don't even realize was big, but it was very big because it's still holding something to you. And that's a tip, guys. Something I want to leave you with now before I go. It just shows you that your subconscious operates at a different time level. It operates in quantum physics. It operates now. So even though you're an older person, maybe you're like an older adult, and you still have these beliefs, that's because your subconscious actually believes you're still stuck in that child age. Because to your subconscious, there is no time. Everything is now. Time hasn't even passed. Everything is just going on right now. This is why it holds on to those beliefs from when you were a kid, even though you're an adult. See, it doesn't recognize you as an adult. It just recognizes that this is still happening now. So think about that. See that? All right, guys, with that, I got to go. So I guess I'll see you guys again. Bye.